What's going on, people? They're back again. Today we're doing another comparison video with the new X-Men wave, Sabretooth. Let's get started. Um, just want to get a little back history out the way. So, the first time I saw Sabretooth was that old NES game. It was that terrible. It was very terrible. I got it. Just wanted to play something X-Men. This was the only one we had before the arcade game came out. So, and he was one of the bosses you had to fight. And I saw him. And I saw that he was kind of feral, and I didn't know that at the time that he was. This was when I was really starting to get into comics, so I didn't know that he was one of Wolverine's main villains. And so there's that. And I know that for most people, you either grew up with the X-Men cartoon or started reading when the Jim Lee version of X-Men, the 90s. I was reading during what's called the Outback era, so that's still my favorite team, and that's kind of where I started with the X-Men, was when they were in the Outback. And so so now some more cards I was getting to. So when these came out, the first series of cards, they had the famous battles scenes. Let's see if I can get that. This was my favorite one. The one I look for the most. I was buying them up, and I was getting so many doubles trying to get that one. But in the process, I had gotten this one. And learned about their first in-book encounter, which they met before, but the first time they fought in the X-Men books. So I was trying to find this comic book when it I was in middle school when I found out about that. So went to the local comic book stores, and none of them had that issue, and come to find out, it was kind of out of my price range anyway. Even if they had it at the time, it was kind of out of the price range. I do have a copy of it now. But at the time, I didn't know that story was kind of that significant. So I didn't know that's why the price was so high on it. But this has kind of been my favorite Sabretooth look, and I've been waiting for Hasbro to do a version like this. And when I saw it, I knew I was gonna be kind of disappointed. I'll say I'm kind of disappointed in my disappointment with this figure. And I'm not saying it's a bad figure. It's gonna be overhyped. I know that because it's Sabretooth. The one thing that really I could excuse some of the other things, but the head sculpt, I really wish they had, instead of giving them the pupils, I really wish they had blotted out his eyes, made his eyes white, instead of doing the pupils in his eyes. That probably could have saved his head sculpt, because it does kind of make him look goofy with the smile, and it's him having the eyes, the pupils, they could have blotted out, made his eyes white. And there's the other thing I didn't when I got him out, was this is how far his splits go. We're talking about Sabretooth, one of the most agile characters ever, and this is the best you can do with the splits. That was very disappointing. Like I said, this is why it's my favorite look for him. I do like Jim Lee's redesign. Don't get me wrong. I know that's some people don't like this, but this is kind of because this was how I was introduced to him, and it's kind of been my look because this is my favorite Wolverine. So I'll get to him in a minute, but I'm gonna bring out the other one, Sabretooth, because like I said, this was supposed to be a comparison video, but I'm just kind of giving my background with this character. So here's the Toy Biz one, which is still not a bad figure. Mine's it's just so loose. All the joints are getting a little bit loosey, and if I can bring him back, I hope I can get him to stand again because he's just so loose. But see how they blotted out made his eyes white. I'll give him the show. What's going on with the focus here? Okay, there. You see, they did that with this version. I think that could have saved the head sculpt for me. And yeah, I don't remember his claws being like that, and his foot. I remember it like this. This too is kind of. I don't know. It may be in some other issues, but I remember more like this. So, and I do think his head's a little bit too big. That's another thing. I was trying to get all the negatives out the way before I got started, but yeah, I do think his head's a little bit too big. That's the other thing that's throwing his figure off. I'm bringing another one. That was kind of my placeholder. I was hoping they get it somewhere around this size. Well, I'll talk about that later. But here's I hope he fits in the Marvel Select one. I probably have to raise my camera so we can see. Yep. Raise the camera a little bit so we can see. So there's that. Let me take this one out and bring in the Jim Lee version. I'm gonna take the other one out too if I get him to stand, so I can bring that down my camera. Yeah. And bringing the Age of Apocalypse one, which I think was the best body they should have stuck with them at this size. And I watched them redo both of these versions on this body. Watch them do that. Try to make more money. I'm gonna make a Marvel Legends rant video here soon, but yeah, you see he's this this company 2 steps forward. I mean, 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. He's now the smallest one. You got Jim Lee and then the Age of Apocalypse. So younger to older, I don't know. That doesn't make sense, I don't know. Yeah, I think they should have. This should be the Sabretooth body, and these two should have been on this body. These two designs, cause it would have been nice. Like I said, they got Wolverine. They've gotten his body right, and they've kept him kind of the same. But Sabretooth, they just seem to can't get Sabretooth right. So, and yeah, so I used the blue and yellow version with this Sabretooth, and this is what I want because it's kind of like what I remember reading and wanted to read when they were both in these costumes. So still tall, but it's just, I think this one would have been better. His body size is still the best body, I think, for Sabretooth. And no butterfly joints for Sabretooth. I don't know why he doesn't get butterfly joints either. But I just wanted to show this off. One thing you can do though, his head is too big. It doesn't work with that body, but you can you want to have this head on this body, which I think works kind of too. I think that works. Oh, it's not showing. I'm sorry. Dang it. I gotta get this camera right. Okay, let's see. But yeah, if you can see that, I think that works. Oh, yeah. I think that works with that. What do you think? So, but you can do that if you want to. So, if anybody's asking, but yeah, his head. Let me show you. This is how ridiculous this looks on this body, though. This looks crazy on this body. So yeah, that won't work. So yeah, like I said, I think this head's too big anyway. A bit too big for this body. If they shrunk his head and whitening out his eyes, I think that would have saved his head sculpt, like I said, for me. So, but let's stop this right here. I was trying to make this shorter. This was my second time, but doing this, but it still went long. So I'm gonna stop this right here. So stay tuned for more videos, and hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, don't support scalpers. Peace.